What's going on YouTube? This Ramon back at Ramon Talks, and in today's video we're gonna talk another topic. And in this topic, we're gonna talk about how you need to stop ignoring the red flags. Ramon back at Ramon Talks. Okay. A lot of times we'll let stuff slide because the sex might be good. Understandable. But when you don't acknowledge those red flags, you get caught up in something that's way worse than what you could have avoided later. I mean, if we, being completely honest, when you hang around situations too long, that's how you get pregnant. If you're a woman, or that's how the man ended up getting you pregnant. So stop ignoring those red flags. A lot of those crazy behaviors, if a person texts you a way that you feel like is kind of crazy, like, ooh, that's kind of thrown off, pay attention to that. If a person tell you they kind of crazy, pay attention to that. Ask about previous relationships and past things and, stuff like that. Just stop ignoring the red flags. A lot of stuff is red flag. Like I say, I kind of spoke about some of this in my delusional video, but yeah, a lot of times because it's brand new, like I said, we will ignore things, but stop ignoring those red flags. It's so many things that come to us. You could get with somebody and know, hey, I don't need to be with this person forever, but you'll still stick around for a lot of the wrong reasons. And, like I say, people be afraid to be alone. Sex be good. This person may be hella attractive. That's something else people need to get off of too. Stop hanging with people, keeping somebody around just because they're good looking. After a while, we got to grow out of the whole look thing. I'm not saying you got to deal with somebody that's not as attractive, but at the same time, just because somebody's attractive doesn't mean you're supposed to stick with them. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to ignore their flaws, the red flags. Doesn't mean you're supposed to ignore that stuff. That's a huge mistake I see people make. People stick around somebody because the person attractive. That don't mean nothing. Attraction is not gonna get bills paid. Attraction is not gonna have a meal cooked. Attraction is just that. After the funny thing is, people sacrifice so much of their life behind the sexual tension of things, and once that's over, then what? You're back to reality. So that's why I say stop ignoring these red flags. Somebody might pass by your house or something. All that stuff to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may get into a moment and now this person blowing you up, texting you, calling you from different numbers, texting you from different apps, this and that. Those are things to pay attention to. Those are all red flag behavior. Man, ultimately, what I've noticed is you can kind of sense red flag behavior. You can kind of see red flag behavior. But for all of the wrong reasons, we ignore that stuff, and especially because it's brand new. A lot of times we wait until we get tired of a person to start acknowledging those red flags. Acknowledge that stuff way early. Catch that stuff soon. The sooner you can walk away from some BS, the better. I don't know why we have this human nature of thinking over time it will get better. In some cases, yeah, but depending on how bad those red flags are, certain things will never change based off age, based off stuff a person been taught, their upbringing. It's a lot of stuff you need to study when it comes to relationships. I'm not trying to come off and sound like you just should be single and stuff like that. In today's time, it almost seemed that way, but I'm just trying to say, acknowledge, pay attention. Pay attention, set your goals, and there's somebody that can match your goals. Stop settling. There is somebody that can match your goals. But before you come in here trying to wave a flag of standards, you got to make sure you meet those standards. If you meet those standards, then the next person, they ain't nothing they can tell you. Because, hey, I'm king over here. You could be queen over there. If you know you just, and you got it going on, then somebody got to match your level. But you got to make sure somebody match your level. If you allow somebody to stay low, they're going to stay low. You got to try to boost the person up. And if they don't have the potential to do so, then some of y'all may not know engines and everything, but let's just break it down. Some cars are not meant to be that fast. You can soup up a V6 motor, which is a slower vehicle, versus a V8 that's a bigger motor. If you add the same stuff that's on a V8 to a V6, it's only going to be equivalent to a V8 that doesn't have anything on it versus souping up a V8. So what I mean is the person that you try to build has to already be working with something. They have to already have some level of potential before you try to make them match your fly, but before you try to make them better. So that's the biggest thing. Pay attention and know what you're working with. You know what I'm saying? I be trying not to be so serious in these videos, but it is serious. A lot of people screw up their life dating the wrong person. So that's what this channel is for. Like I say, it started to more so help women, but now I'm kind of around just helping people dating general. But yeah, just pay attention to people. Pay attention. Ask the right questions. What happened to the last ex? You know, what's some of the most toxic stuff you ever done? You know, just ask these things and pay attention. Stop thinking that stuff cute because somebody laughing. Just because somebody laughing, we need to start taking what people say in joking manners seriously. I'm not saying take it so literal to where, you feel what I'm saying? But you do need to kind of, there's some truth within these jokes, these lies. There's some truth within these things, so pay attention to those things. Like I say, stop ignoring the red flags because you want this person so bad, because you want to be with somebody so bad. You want to prove something to this person. That person might be more attractive than your ex. So now you want to stun on your ex, this and that. Stop ignoring these red flags. You know what I'm saying? Stop ignoring these red flags. Stop ignoring these red flags. That's how you end up, you know what I'm saying, tied to somebody that you may not want to be tied to. That's how you end up, you know, jobless, carless, you know, jail records. And, you know, it gets, relationships could really, they really could go, you know what I'm saying? Two toxic people dealing with, you know what I'm saying? So, and people know this. If y'all don't like each other, y'all can't stand each other. If y'all don't get along from the jump, stop adding different things. Stop tying yourself to each other, knowing y'all already not getting along. That's the biggest thing. This person want to tie themselves down to this person, and now y'all in a position knowing y'all ain't get along. So if y'all didn't get along from the jump, don't add marriage, don't add babies, don't add this. You got to do good at level 1 before you can go to level 2. That's the biggest thing that people got to understand. So many times people advance and they keep trying to make something work that's not meant to work and wondering why they're always going through hell. It's because you ignored all the red flags of y'all's situation. You could like somebody a lot. Y'all can hit it off. But just because y'all hit it off, y'all still may repel. You know what I'm saying? In other areas that's very important, y'all may not work that way. So just because you like this person, just because the sex is good, and I continuously bring up sex because that's what a lot of that stuff be. Good sex will have you sitting around in a relationship and just, you know what I'm saying, way past the time that you're supposed to be. So that's the thing. You gotta cut that off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, good sex is dangerous. Good sex is bad. That junk have you, man. Hey, I done seen some stuff behind good sex. Even when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, good sex had me acting a certain way. So I understand, you know, that be them soul ties. But anyway, I don't want to be all day on this, but that's just the biggest thing of this message. Stop ignoring the red flags. When they come, I'm not saying you got to run immediately, but some red flags you need to run immediately. Some of them you really do. You know, certain levels of stalking and anger and, yeah, pay attention, you know, to the way somebody thinks. Sometimes people just really think insanely. It's like, do you hear what you're saying? That, you know, you got to realize when you really around a crazy person. People be so thrown off in the mind, so mentally ill, and no disrespect to the mentally ill, but some of them just don't be right. And sometimes you might need to get from around them. Somebody else might could help them, but if you don't have the patience to deal with that, don't get yourself crossed up trying to save somebody else's life. You've been and messed your life up trying to help somebody else. So at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's your life. Life need to go the way you want it to go. Ultimately, man, stay positive. Try to make the right choice. But anyway, just stop ignoring the red flags. If it's a red flag, you feel like you can't deal with it, don't deal with it for no reason. Don't deal with it. Marriage, kid, don't deal with it. You don't have to. There's nothing in life say you got to stick with nobody. Kids, marriage, nothing. If you don't want to be somewhere, you don't got to be there. That's the most important part to remember. Stop ignoring the red flags. So like always, like, comment, and subscribe.